Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show. And funny enough, this is a show that I believe that some of our viewers are requesting, right? Because we've been producing content around this subject matter, and we've been bringing in a lot of new people to the channel. And I can tell that there's this interest in this topic. And I said, hey, why not produce this show? It was impromptu, nothing planned. So I'm just going to be speaking from the heart today on this particular episode. Now, as you guys know, there's a very big game slated to take place tomorrow between the Colorado Buffaloes and Oregon, right? We even put up a poll on our channel asking people to vote who they think is going to be who's going to win. If you guys haven't voted, go to our channel, the community section, and cast your vote. So we'll get a sense of what people think out there. But anyway, this Deion Sanders story has captivated the world, it seems like, or at least the sports world. It's taken over everything. And everybody and their grandmama is talking about it. When you see people like us, that is a basketball channel, talking about it, you know that this thing is serious. So with Deion Sanders dominating the headlines, his team winning and all of that stuff, it's brought the haters out in full force. And one of the biggest haters, if not the biggest hater of Deion Sanders, his sons, and the Colorado Buffaloes is none other than Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock, for whatever reason, has made it his personal agenda to ensure that whenever he talks about Deion Sanders and these guys, he always says something negative. We have produced show after show after show. He has said one incoherent thing after the other, after the other, after the other. We have broken this thing down to the T. But Jason Whitlock does a very good job at keeping a straight face and spewing rubbish all over the screen. This is what he can do it a straight. In fact, he can even get angry while doing it, which is a skill, right? Which is a skill. This man has talked about Deion Sanders as a man, comparing him to a female TikToker. He's questioning his masculinity. He's questioned his dressing choices. He's questioned his religious foundation. And just when you thought it was over with, yesterday, he took it a step further and now started going after his kids, to the point where he's now talking about his junior, talking about, do you see what he posts on social media? Why is he wearing jewelry and X and Y and Z? To the point where I had to say, Jason, hate to break it to you, some black folks like jewelry. I don't know why this is so shocking to you, considering you're black. Why is this news to you? Shouldn't you know this? I mean, shouldn't you know this? Apparently, Jason Whitlock doesn't know it. So, what happened? Today, I was skimming through the internet, and funny enough, yesterday when we produced that show, I said to myself, I'm tired. I literally said it. I said, I don't care if this video does exceptionally well. I said, I'm tired of talking about this. I'm tired of talking about it. I literally said that. But then what happened? As we were preparing content today, doing our research, kind of prepping up, gearing up for what we're going to do, I came across a show that was being teased from Jason Whitlock's channel. Now, because I've seen some of his videos, they're going to recommend it to me on my homepage. And usually when a show is about to premiere or go live, if they put it up there, like they set it at a time that it's supposed to debut, you can see, it can tell you like waiting, 10 people waiting, 5 people waiting, etc. So I flash across my YouTube homepage and I look at the homepage, and what do I see? I see Jason Whitlock smiling in the thumbnail. I see Deion Sanders. I see former President Barack Obama. And the thumbnail says, Deion Sanders replaces Barack Obama as America's idol, latest false god. And I said to myself, I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it because this Duke is forcing my hands right now. So I got to touch on it. Jason Whitlock is making it his personal crusade now to tear down Deion Sanders. But before I even get into that, let me tell you what's taking place subconsciously with even his thumbnail and the title. In the thumbnail, you have Barack Obama, you have Deion Sanders. Let me ask you guys a question, honestly. What does former President Barack Obama, who was governing a country, have to do with Deion Sanders, who was the head football coach of a college football team? What's the connection? Okay, they're black. What's the connection here? In this image, you can tell that Jason Whitlock is trying to do two things. Number one, he's trying to inject politics into this. Otherwise, why would you correlate Deion Sanders to a former president? Why would you relate the two people? Is Deion Sanders talking about any foreign policy here? No, help me figure it out. Is he talking about interest rates? Is he talking about national security? Is he talking about spending budgets? Is he holding meetings with governors? Is he holding meetings with mayors? Is he attending the G20 summit? Why would you compare Deion Sanders to a president of the United States? The reason he's doing this is because Jason Whitlock and people like him are obsessed with politics in sports. They are obsessed with it. They cannot help themselves. And the irony in all of this is that these are the people that complain about politics in sports. They're the very same ones doing it. If you want to blend politics and sports, my brother, blend it all you want. Just own up to the fact that that's what you're doing. This is quite obvious, except to an idiot. It's quite obvious what he's doing. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. At the very end, he writes, latest false god. Why would you relate Barack Obama and Deion Sanders to a god that people are worshiping? Do you say that because maybe they have support? Because if that's the case, was Barack Obama the only presidential candidate to receive support from people? Is this the road we want to go down? Do we want to go into idolatry and worship of people in politics? Is this the road we want to go down? Is this the road we want to go down when somebody snaps their finger, people will jump up and start doing crazy things? Is this the road we want to go down? What is Jason Whitlock's issue with blacks? It's like something is weird. Now, I'll tell you why he's doing this. Let me break it down to people in the back. Let me tell you what's really going on here. People that are talking negatively about Deion Sanders, negatively, but are still getting a lot of coverage, still getting a lot of views, still getting a lot of press, need to close their mouths. They need to close their mouths. Do you know why? If I begin to count the tens of millions, dare I say hundreds of millions of dollars, it could probably go into the hundreds of millions of dollars that are being generated off of Deion Sanders' name, you would be floored by the amount of money Deion Sanders and his team is generating in the system. Let me break it down for you. One of the other shows we produced, they said the game 3 that they played with the in-state rivalry game garnered or brought in 9.3 million viewers, the most viewed college football game, I believe, in ESPN history, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know how much money of advertising was sold against those views? What do you think it would be? Do you think it'd be $100,000? Do you think it'd be $500,000? Do you think it'd be $1 million? Do you think it'd be $5 million? Do you think it'd be $10 million? Do you think it'd be about $20 million? I would say it'd be upwards of $20 to $30 million or more. That's just ESPN. Now look at the other networks covering that game. That were covering that game simultaneously. I'm going to break it down for you guys. Think about the revenue that was generated in just the viewership on television. We move to the next level. Think about the revenue that was generated in print, meaning in written print and articles. All the people going to different websites to read about this story. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of millions of hits going to various pages, which is generating a lot of money. Now move it over to YouTube. How much money? Let me ask you guys. How much money do you think this Deion Sanders story has generated in 1 week? In 1 week. I can almost guarantee you it has generated well over $20 million or $15 to $20 million in just a week. If you look at all of the people that are talking about it and gaining views, and some of those people making all of this damn money are people like Jason Whitlock. Don't get it confused. Jason Whitlock is doing this for money. And if he has to sucker his audience to make them believe that he really believes what he's saying and he's going to get paid to do it, he's going to do it. It's called grifting, folks. When you get to the point when you're comparing Deion Sanders to Barack Obama and false gods, you know you have absolutely nothing to say. But what he does understand is that this is a gravy train and he wants to keep riding it. He wants to keep riding it. Is this story successful for our channel? Yes, it is. But I only want to talk about it if I actually have something to say. If you notice the shows that we produce, we provide multiple sources of information. We provide articles, we provide audio. We try to make it something substantive. We're not reaching for angels and demons and Barack Obama and this guy and that. That's what Jason Whitlock is doing. So for somebody that seems to be so annoyed with Deion Sanders, you sure have no problem making money off of his name. You sure have no problem making hundreds, I don't know, maybe millions, but at least hundreds and hundreds and hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this guy's name. And what I figured out is that Jason Whitlock will not stop. It will not stop. Some people may say this is tantamount to Skip Bayless and LeBron James, because you better believe LeBron James generated a lot of ratings for Skip Bayless. As a matter of fact, when you think of Skip Bayless, you think of LeBron in media. He's his number one nemesis. And you better believe it's made him a lot of money. You think Skip Bayless talks about LeBron just because he doesn't like LeBron and that's it? You think Skip Bayless doesn't know that brings in a lot of ratings for his show? Obviously, he knows that. But in the case of this guy here, it's just embarrassing at this point. And let me tell you something. If they lose tomorrow, I can almost assure you he's going to say, oh, it was God that probably didn't want him to win. Something like that. Something along those lines. He's going to talk about Deion Sanders, whether if he wins or whether if he loses. He's going to talk about him anyway. But what I have now come to realize is that Jason Whitlock is a grifter. 100%. I don't follow liberal political figures. I don't follow conservative public figures. But just looking at this guy, it's not like I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm pumping up Roland Martin. No. I don't get into politics. I told you. But after sitting down and looking at this guy here, I'm beginning to know that this guy is just doing it for clicks and views. He's not serious. He's not serious. And the real morons in all of this are his audience that he's fooling, because you guys are the ones that are lining his pockets. He don't mean a damn word he's saying, but he gonna say anything as long as you people watch. That's what I've realized about Jason. This guy's not serious. To have a title and a thumbnail calling it American Idols. American Idols, referring to a former president of a country. Fine, whatever. You don't respect your president or you respect, that's here and there. I don't really care. But anyway, referring to both of these guys as American Idols. And then the latest false god, because people are worshiping him. Because Jason Whitlock doesn't support anybody, right? In sports or in media. Yeah, right. Anyway, these are my thoughts. Folks, do not expect this guy to stop. He's going to go full bore on this story until the very end of the season. He's going to find any way to talk about Deion Sanders. He don't care because he's going to make him a lot of money. These are my thoughts. So what I want to know from you guys is simply this. What do you think about Jason Whitlock's coverage? Do you think he's going to stop? Do you honestly believe that he's sincere about what he's saying? Or do you think that, no, he's just up here saying it's twerking it up, knocking everybody's drinks all over the place. He's just twerking it up for money and views. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.